Today we're working on the entertainer, and I'm going to be showing you the second part of the song. If you've been following along with the tutorials, you hopefully have already seen the introduction tutorial and can play something that sounds roughly like this. So as soon as you finish that intro and you play that little G chord, or bounce on that G chord, you're going to go into the part that we're going to be working on today, and I'm just going to play through it a bit and show you what it sounds like. And I'm going to do this slowly so I hopefully don't mess up too much. But it sounds like this. Okay, so I'm going to break this into right hand and left hand so that you can sort of see how it works, and we're going to try and slam it together, and at the end I'm going to give you a little way to think about practicing. Alright, so your right hand is going to be playing, oops, here I'll try and get these fingers out of the way for you. That little part right there is just D, D sharp, and then you're going to bring your thumb underneath, so you're playing that D and that D sharp with your thumb and then your two finger, and then you're going to bring your thumb underneath and play an E, and your pinky is going to be bouncing on a C, bouncing back and forth between an E and a C. I'm going to leave it to your ears to figure out the rhythm. It's not straight, it's bumpa, bumpa, it's a little wonky. Okay? So while your hand is doing that, your right hand is going to be doing this other sort of thing, and this is sort of like a stride piano style, so there's a lot of room for error. It's going to take a lot of practice to get smooth. I'm not anywhere close to being able to play this very smoothly, so you should not feel bad if it's taking you a while to get it, alright? So your right hand plays this D, and right when your right hand thumb plays that D, your left hand is going to be playing a G and a B. So you're kind of creating a G chord, if you can see that, G, B, and D. As soon as your right thumb hits that E, your left pinky is going to hit a C. Alright, so that's the first part. Alright, now your right hand is going to start bouncing on this C like I showed you, and your left hand is going to complete a C chord. So you start off with the pinky playing a C, and then it's going to complete by playing an E, a G, and a C. So the way it does it is you play right and left play at the same time, this E and the C, and then your right hand plays a C, and then your left hand completes the chord. So it's not, it's sort of bump, 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 it's every other. So your left hand sort of has 1, 2, 3, 4, while your right hand is wonky, and that gives you like this triplet feel almost. Boom, bum, 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 bum. Alright, not exactly triplets, but so hopefully that makes sense. So you've got this D, D sharp, E, C. Now you're going to repeat this in your right hand 2 more times. And while you're doing that, your left hand is going to sort of bounce around to something else. So you've got, in your left hand you've got C, complete the C chord. Then your left hand is going to play octaves, Gs. And then kind of playing like a C7 here, but just play the notes G, B flat, and C. Alright, so I'll show you that much. Now your left hand is going to jump down and play octaves Fs. And then finish on octave E's. So the Fs is like octave Fs, and then you come up here and play an A and a C to complete the F chord. So you play Fs, and then A and C, and then E's. So this is getting a little bit tricky. Let me just rewind and show you. So this is basically like part A of the second chunk. So you've got this G chord. Your right hand works its way up. And then pinky and right hand thumb bouncing on the C's. When you hit the C, you're on the G's here. Together on the E and the there's basically the C7 chord here. Fs. Alright, so that's basically the first part. Now if you remember that as a separate chunk from the part that comes right after that, your life will be a little bit easier because that part gets repeated a lot throughout the song, alright? So one more time I'm going to show you that, and then we're going to move on to part B of chunk 2. So nice and smooth. Alright, cool. So once you get that much done, the second part, that's probably not on the camera, but what I want you to notice is that my hand is making this shape. I'm playing a C, an E, and a C octave. Octave C is there and the E. And my hand makes this sort of like chicken bone shape or whatever shape, you know, whatever helps you, I don't know, like rock on shape. If you think about making your hand like really solid and moving it, I didn't change the shape of my hand at all when I did that, but I was able to play all those chords. That's probably not the perfect way to do it. You probably want to have a little bit of flexibility in your hand just to sort of be able to give it some feel. But when you're learning it, think about keeping your hand like a solid statue and just think about where your thumb goes. So if you keep your hand in the shape and your thumb moves C, D, D sharp, E, C, D, E, B, D, E. I think I was harmonizing, so sorry, I tried to jump. So C, D, D sharp, E, C, D, E, B, D, C. That's what your right hand is playing for the second part. All like with that whole chord structure. Ooh, hard. Hard to do that with your fingers pulled down, but hopefully you can understand what I'm doing there. Now, while your right hand is doing that, your left hand is doing something that sounds like this. Now, I'm showing this to you on 2 octaves, but really your hand is spread out. And that's important because when you get down here, if you're... That's kind of like a muddy chord, but an octave higher, you don't hear, it doesn't sound as bad, it sounds good. So you want to have your hands about 2 octaves apart. And in your left hand, I'm just doing it close so you can see it all on the camera. But so here's what's happening. Your left hand is playing. When you get to this E, then your left hand is going to play a G. And it's going to jump up here and sort of complete a C chord. So E, G, and C. So let me just show you what the left hand does. You're going to go G, jump up, complete a C chord, go back to that G, and you're going to play an F, a G, and a B. And then you're going to come down here and play C's and bounce to complete the C chord twice. C's in your left hand and then bounce up. So E, G, and C, and you play that twice. So let me show you that whole sequence as slow as I can without getting confused. G, complete the C chord. G, this little thing, and then C, and bounce. Alright, now in the music, that's basically it. If you can learn those parts, you're in really good shape. You basically repeat that part in the sheet music, and the way you repeat it, you do this little G chord. So that's just like the first part we learned. So even though it's like at the tail end of the music, think about it as kind of like being in the beginning. Alright? Whatever. So, the hardest part of the song is that part that goes like this. While your left hand is doing this crazy stuff. Oh. Pretty hard. So, ways that you can practice this. One, try doing the right hand with your eyes closed. I'll do it now. You can't see that my eyes are closed. Here, I'll cover my eyes with my left hand. You probably, I don't know if you need to. I don't even know if you can see me on the camera there. I tried to lean in. But basically, you want to be able to do that with your eyes closed because the hard part is the stride down here. So you want to be kind of like looking at your left hand to make sure you're hitting those targets. And the other way you can practice is to do this. Like you can look for this part, which is just your left hand. Look at the G to this, completing the C chord, and then G to this little weird thing. Back and forth, 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 back. If you go back and forth like this, your hand will naturally start to figure out what the best fingering is. And I seem to have settled on this. And then try to put together. So that's it. I hope this tutorial helped you. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.